the way that you helped me, sort of, what, 2.5 years ago now, I think, about,
Yeah.
was life changing at that point, and I think I told you repeatedly at that point, and I still do every time I get the opportunity, even now. But to give some context to myself and Will, because our journey was quite unique to start with. So I am cleft affected, so I was born with a cleft lip and palate myself, and unexpectedly in pregnancy, Will was also diagnosed with the same condition. I had a very roller coaster like pregnancy, high stress, lots of different things going on. And then he was born, and again, to give a bit more background, he was tube fed for 6 months. He's had a couple of surgeries within his first year of life, poor weight gain, he was on high calorie milk. And then after that first year, things got a little bit better, and he was, progressing as I was hoping that he would, and like you would expect, and like all the things that you read on the textbooks. And then I just noticed that his ability and kind of willingness to speak wasn't there. And we kind of went down various routes. Was it because of his cleft? Was it that he's just a very shy child? All of these kind of things that you kind of hope that it might be related to. And then when he was at nursery, they kind of spoke to me about the idea of referring him for an autism assessment, because he had those tick box kind of things they look for. So, a child that didn't want eye contact, or wasn't necessarily keen to play with his peers, the lack of communication, like verbal communication. And whilst we saw more of the expected interactions at home, it was obviously in that kind of social setting that they were picking up on these indicators. So we had a very quick turnaround. Did we have a quick turnaround? We might. I can't remember exact timelines now, but we were seen by a paediatrician at a local hospital, and dare I say that diagnosis was very much, we might as well have walked in, we might as well have had a 2-minute chat and walked back out with a diagnosis. It was on the spot decision, and I think because Will was experiencing those kind of tick box symptoms, shall we say, that they look for. And I always believed that there was more to go on and to look into, and really, like, I wanted to tap into who he actually is rather than his restrictions that he's currently experiencing. And with Don't Get Lippy, so that's an awareness Instagram page predominantly, and I do have a podcast where I've spoken about our journey, cleft related. And I was talking about, maybe going dairy free, because I'd heard these like little snippets of like, does dairy cause inflammation? Does it not? Is it worthwhile? And as you said in the introduction, a mutual friend of ours, Emily, who I still owe a coffee for our introduction. So Emily, if you ever listen to this, that coffee still is waiting to happen. I think she'd met you, and she just said, look, I really think Lara might be somebody that you'd want to talk to. And at this point, I was keen to talk to anybody, read anything, do anything to try and help bring Will out of his shell, for want of a better word. And thankfully you and I connected, and I don't think I could ever pay you for the amount of time and hours and hope that you gave me at that time, which is all I needed. I needed somebody to say, no, just hang on a minute, there is so much to look into, have you thought of? And then our relationship started from there, which I'm very, very grateful for.